as we have the Shadow Demon and the Terrorblade coming out for the Dream.
I'm
Meanwhile,
right
EHOME
here,
Immortal.
buddy.
Whoa, you're right here the whole time, sneaking around in the back there. How's it going, man?
It's going alright, bro.
Dire team pick.
I'm quite excited actually to watch some more China Dota. Actually, it's quite nice because we're like watching China Dota, then we're watching SEA Dota, then China Dota. You know, you got a little bit of variety of everything, right? So it's quite fun
Variety is the
to get the
spice of
different
life.
playstyles.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Definitely. I mean, out of the two regions, which would you say has been looking stronger?
Oh, man, it's such different playstyles. It's so
Yeah.
hard to say.
10
I would like to
seconds
say
remaining.
that China Dota has a bit more variety in their
5
drafts.
seconds remaining.
It's surprising, but like it kind of just does. I think like some of their offlane heroes and support heroes are a little bit more different. And for me, at least, SEA Dota, because I guess it's because I'm more familiar with it. It seems more predictable in a way. And then in China Dota, I think their playstyle is very predictable, but their drafts are not as much.
Yeah, yeah. No, I can kind of agree with that. I think, you know, when we see China, we know they're going to be playing really heavily around those timings. We know they're going to be waiting for the ideal fighting condition.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, SCA, we know they're going to be running at each other without a care in the world. Well, no, I mean, they have ideas. They have, of course, strategy behind their madness, but sometimes it's hard to see through the madness. And I think sometimes they get lost in the madness as well.
10
But
seconds
yeah,
remaining.
let's get into this matchup here. So, EHOME Immortal, they have been struggling. They've only managed to take one series so far. They really need a win here, to be honest with you, if they want to stand above the monster and linger in order to get themselves into a qualification position, because right now they're in the danger zone.
Dire team ban.
Yeah, it's really tough position for you to be in, and fighting up against For the Dream, who is top 2 team in this entire Chinese bracket here, is not what you wanted to play against. So that means they probably lost against some of the teams that they should have won against, right? Now they're faced against the best teams, and they're let's just say they're got a big hill to climb game. So let's see what they're gonna do. We'll break down the draft a little bit here. So we got EHOME Immortal going with the Clockwork. We've seen this China Dota a lot. Then FTD with the Shadow Demon. I think this is preemptive to the Spectre and Terrorblade kind of meta heroes that China has been playing. And then Immortal pick up Spectre anyway. And then for the Dream, then get Terrorblade. Now Shadow Demon will counter Spectre quite well. Then Terrorblade is really good with the Shadow Demon, but Spectre can counter Terrorblade throughout the game if it goes the Radiance route. Even if it doesn't go to Radiance route, the Manta Diffu is also pretty good. But I think SDTB is just going to be so annoying to deal with. Then EHOME Immortal go for the Darkseer pick, which is really good with the Spectre, the Clockwork with the Ion Shells, but then the laning stage is not that good, right? And the magic damage, the wall, also really good against TB. But again, laning stage, that's the problem. And TB might get super farmed just from that. Then they go with the Rubik pick here. I think that's going to be the position for Rubik. Just a solid hero overall. Disable lane shoving abilities. EHOME Immortal. Wait, that go about the wrong way. Oh yeah, Darkseer, then Rubik, and then Warlock. Yeah, so Warlock for the Spectre because of the heals. It's quite good. Then they got the Necrophos on the For the Dream side to lane up against Spectre and Darkseer, and also be able to buy Guardian buff terribly.
Yeah, I think EHOME Immortal definitely leaning in really heavily towards this team fighting here, which I actually like. I think this is a good way to try and take games if you feel like you're kind of, you know, lacking direction in your team, which EHOME Immortal certainly have been doing in their previous matches. So, you know, they just go for the Warlock, go for the Darkseer, go for the Spectre. You know, these heroes together, they're going to lay down a ton of aggression in these fights if you have all of these ultimates available. And the, of course, the Surge and the Darkseer making the Spectre an absolute threat of a hero. We've seen what that Dagger Surge combination can do. I mean, the Spectre's just like a bullet flying off towards their targets. So it's pretty entertaining, pretty good stuff. But yeah, I mean, the Terrorblade is going to be the threat. I think Spectre's going to be tempted by the Radiance this game, that's for sure, because it is good versus Terrorblade and those illusions. But then, and also Shadow Demon can't really take your Radiance illusions because you can just toggle the Radiance off inside the disruption. For some reason that works. I don't know why, but it does. And then you don't get Radiance burned yourself, so not a great. You know, you don't have to worry about building Radiance.
There's another option,
into
right?
SD.
You can go. You can use it on the Manta, or you can use it on the Han. to pick up the Radiance. Those can't be toggled off.
True,
So
true,
at
true,
least you
true.
got that going for you. You don't have to always disrupt the real Spectre in that case. But I think for the most part,
Dire team
Shadow even
pick.
cares more about saving his teammates with the
Radiant team
disruption than he
pick.
does getting the Radiance in the fights.
Yes, yes, of course. And of course, you can also make more Terrorblades for sieging as well, and that's always a really
Yep.
nice little +1 mechanic there. And EHOME model going to round off their draft with an Earth Spirit for themselves. It's probably going to
mid lane.
be in the middle lane, yeah.
They
love this.
Interesting. Earth Spirit pick. Yeah. Honestly, I have to say, Immortal, even though they got this
remaining.
super strong team fight, which they do, but the downside here is actually their laning capability, right? Warlock Spectre can't apply any pressure. So whoever they lane against is probably going to have a lot of free. Darkseer Clockwork, same thing. Normally we see Clock played at the position 5 or in the safe lane because he has that space between the towers, right? That you can run a hero down. But when he's playing in the off lane, he doesn't have that. He has to dive towers. And when he does that, you're diving into armor, HP regen. It's just so awkward to be able to dive as a position 4 nowadays. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult for their side lanes for sure. And they get the Viper here too. Wow. Okay, so now they got the break against the Spectre. I don't think Earth Spirit's going to have that good of a time middle. And Viper also has a lot of magic resist. The biggest key spell I see on EHOME Immortal side right now is actually the Fatal Bond, because they can't really take it off that easily. And there's so many tanky heroes on for the Dream side. So maybe the Fatal Bonds can do a lot of work. But other than that, I think the laning is going to go in favor of for the Dream.
Yeah, I can definitely see that being the case, especially with this Viper bit. I mean, that's just disgusting. When I see Spectre, when I'm playing Spectre and I see Viper, I'm just like, okay. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, especially with the Darkseer here as well, because they can kind of play around it. But it's just the case that when you get that initial lockdown, maybe with the Reaper's Scythe or maybe with a Lift or whatever, and then you can just throw it down, and you can really burst the hero quickly. I mean, that's the threat. In the team fights, it's actually not that big a deal because Spectre's got such high mobility that she can generally just kind of walk around the nether toxins and not be too worried about it. But yeah, no, it's definitely a big problem whenever they're jumping on you and trying to burst you down quickly. So these are going to be a 2 drafts. You seem to be pretty keen on For the Dream, and going by the history of these two teams, and by the way For the Dream been playing recently, I'm not surprised to hear that. And also, yeah, I do think they do have really good looking lanes right here as well. And I don't think this Earth Spirit can lane into Viper at mid. Like I just don't see that working. I might be wrong, but that sounds horrible.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to lane. And speaking of Spectre going to lake him, let's not forget, she also has to deal with a demonic purge on top of the nether tox, right? So she's not going to be moving in this game. If she gets Viper Strike, purged up, and then comes out the nether toxin to break her too. And there's no real saves either on the side of EHOME Immortal.
Great point.
So
and
there's a lot.
It's not one of those games as well where they're going to be punished if they drop every single ulti, every single spell onto this Spectre. Like, once she's dead, they don't have anything left. Like, this Earth Spirit can't solo carry team fights once you get past, like, the 20-minute mark. And, you need this Spectre. And so it's going to be a very awkward game for Shuro here. I don't really see what the game plan is going to be, unless they can just kind of jump on the backlands, immediately force out some bad spell usage by just putting pressure and getting the ideal jumps onto heroes like Rain, onto, the Viper. If you can take him out early on in the fights as well, could be a good factor here for EHOME Immortal. But yeah, they basically just made themselves into a situation where it's quite hard for them to actually play these team fights, I feel.
30 seconds
Yeah,
to battle.
it's although they actually wanted to pick all the team fight heroes, right? So
Yes,
the thing is, if you pick team fight heroes, you have to make sure you still have very strong lanes, because if you don't get through the laning stage, you can never get to the team fights anyway. Because strong lanes just means that you can sit your cores in there, your supports can be more free to move. If you see on the side of EHOME right now, their supports have to stick to the lanes that they're starting in. There's not a whole lot of movement that they're capable of doing.
No. Nope, that is certainly the case. Meanwhile, the Warlock is going to make his way up to top and attempt to help out the Spectre, throw out some heals. Ah, yes, the old Chinese meta of shared tango, 2 rings of regen on the Spectre, and they're going to have the Shadow Word up here as well. I mean, this Spectre's going to have so much regen. Good luck. I do find it interesting if she's starting with only 1 shared tango. Maybe she just plans on getting a stack. Well, I mean, I expect her to get a stack of tangos once the game started, but so far, nothing.
Yeah,
wants to
that's
stick.
gonna be the Chinese build at the moment, the double ringer region and cool tangles. I'm not sure how much I like it, to be honest. But with the Warlock, it's not terrible, right? You got the Shadow Ward out. You got so much sustain. 7.0 HP region. That's kind of a lot.
It is a lot, isn't it? We look at Ogre Magi and you always think that's a lot, and yeah, I mean, this is what just the Spectre's chilling at. No worries.
Gonna go for a drums first item, huh? On the Spectre too.
Yeah, and then no, that's Meteor Hammer, bro. Oh wait, she
Meteor Hammer.
Change it up? Yeah. I'm interested. I'm interested. Let's see what Shira can do with this build. Definitely feel like it's kind of worth it this game when you've got such little push on your team. Like, they need something to take towers with, so the Meteor Hammer will definitely help with that.
Oh, Mr. 7E in the mid lane has to roll away from the Viper, not to die on level 2. That's not something you like to see for your mid lane. I mean, he's got 6 lasses for now. That's not terrible. It's just the more levels the Viper gets, the scarier this gets. And who's gonna gank for him, right? There has to be the Darkseer, like coming in mid somehow. The Darkseer never wants to leave bottom.
Can the Clockwork not help him out?
It's really hard because the Clockwork has to help the Darkseer, and if the Clockwork leaves the lane, they're always gonna see him because there's a ward here.
Jesus, 7E just running in to try and get the range creep there, and then kicks the Viper up to the high ground. This Earth Spirit.
Jeez, man.
Wow,
Yeah.
I don't even think he got the range creep. I didn't quite see.
Yeah, he has no regen, he has no mana. He's like bringing stuff out now, but the Viper already bought 2 mangoes to help himself. Yeah, this Earth Spirit is no longer a hero anymore. He's just gonna sit on his high ground. He can't walk in. There's no aggro being pulled every time he gets hit. It's just a complete disaster in this mid lane. How's bottom going?
Bottom is going kind of evenly. TB's getting farm, Darkseer's getting farm, everyone's just chilling. Seems like Darkseer's doing a teeny weeny bit. Nah, they're even on XP. They're actually dead even on XP as well. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you, sir. It's all even here, but it's a pretty decent pull from the Clockwork. Gonna at least get 1 or 2 creeps before they realize. Yeah,
they're really focused on their getting their XP. You know, this is what we're talking about, the chill China Dota, well. Right?
Mm-hmm.
When we were watching SCAS, oh, let's see, is there something gonna happen here? No, nothing will happen. That's for sure. They're just gonna passively walk away from this. It's just a defensive disruption. But yeah, we were talking about like yesterday. We're watching SCA Dota. There was 9 kills at 3 minutes, right?
Something like that, yeah.
It was actually ridiculous. Oh.
I'm just so interested when these teams clash in the playoffs. I think that's going to be really interesting, seeing how the two playstyles match up against each other, because it's so different. Like it's literally binary opposites.
Exactly. Yesterday's games, like at 5 minutes or 6 minutes in the game, the highest TS was like 22 or something. I mean, Viper's already at 19 right now, so
yeah.
And everybody else is already making their way there. Like, it's just so different.
Like salt and pepper. Meanwhile, Rubik going to secure this bounty rune, lay a bit of harassment to the Warlock. Well, got to be a little bit careful here. I imagine he's got help coming in, but she doesn't look like he does. He's going to get his career killed off Rubik, getting pretty low here as well as he continues to trade with the Warlocks. ZZQ trying to fight into the Rubik, maybe realizing now it's such a great idea. Verify gets used, but the right clicks are in, and the Rubik is going to solo the Warlock in the support battle up at top.
Interesting. And mid lane, Earth Spirit.
Yeah, oh, run himself away again. Ugh.
Rubik.
Rubik.
Oh, he wants to suicide. He doesn't want to give XP. Oh my goodness. Did he give XP? I think he might have actually.
I think he might have. He definitely looked in range. You know, it's about a screen. But I was zoomed out. Yeah, we'll look back up to the top lane, pumping out those heal into the Spectre. Pumping up his Spectre.
I mean, the Necro's free farm. Spectre's also free farm because he's got so much regen. Ring of Health is out now, so he's got 14.0 HP regen at the moment. This Spectre. Okay. Alright. This is something that you probably can't stop from farming at this point. I mean, if you build up more damage, like that's why you got the braces, I think, which is kind of neat too.
Mm-hmm.
You get 8 damage, or not 8 damage, 5 damage from them, and a lot of HP too, so it's quite nice to just be able to deny some creeps against the Spec.
Yeah, it's very much the battle of the beefcakes up in the top lane as the Necro and the Spectre just kind of lock horns and chunk away at each other. But yeah, I mean, neither of them getting remotely low. Really, they're going under the tower. Vacuum comes out as well, but they can't find the Terrorblade. He's going to get himself away, so I'll look over towards Rain instead. But now the Viper is in, and he's going to be able to run that down at this Clockwork easily. An ambitious TP from him. Meanwhile, the Darkseer is just going to TP himself back to that tower, back to safety, and get himself out of danger.
Our Spirit's like, all right, let me go push the lane real quick. Finally. That
What are these?
cancerous girl's gone.
What are these strange little green things in the middle lane? When I hit them, they turn into gold, but I've never seen these before. All I know is my tower.
Oh, Rubik again. Guess who he found? There's a Reaper
His
site.
best friend. Hey, buddy. How's it going? Oh, Reaper site's pretty early here, so they're not going to be able to get the death timer at least. But they will kill him off with a couple of right clicks. It'll tickle him a bit. Meanwhile, Zeddy comes rolling on through, looking for the Rubik here. He's got the right clicks. Rubik going for the TP out. Does Zeddy have the damage? He does not. See you later, Rubik.
Are the green heroes back, Nomad? We got the Viper, we got the Necro. Venomancer has an insanely high win rate and is like constantly banned in the first phase.
Yeah, Green Hero's coming back into it. You know, it's about the poisons. The poison buddies.
Yeah. Pugna.
Slow burn. Yeah,
You
he's
also
pretty
see
popular.
some Pugna here and there.
We do. I think blue heroes are definitely, like, the bluey-purple heroes are certainly the most popular of the meta, though. I mean, we got Void, we got Spectre, we got Terrorblade, we got Darkseer. Even seeing a little bit of him. Venge, pretty popular.
Green heroes do counter the blue heroes, though. And, oh, we got a rotation coming bottom from the Warlock. Wonder how much he's going to be able to do here. He has a Sunder saved up on Terrorblade.
He's in the Horn. They're going to jump in with a Spectre, but yeah, Sunder onto the Warlock here. Warlock doesn't seem to mind, but the Viper, no, Viper's not TPing in because it actually gets cancelled in the mid lane by the Earth Spirit. Meanwhile, though, the Terrorblades are actually in much trouble here. They will be able to kill off Rain at the very least. Now Dagger comes forward onto the TB. Warlock's got to be careful. This illusion, whew, they do manage to bring it down, but Terrorblade's going to be able to just walk himself away. Had to pop Meta and Sunder for this, so not without its costs, but at the same time, he doesn't die.
Oh, yeah. That's a pretty good win for EHOME, I think. I mean, they do use the Haunt, they do get the Shadow Demon kill, but then Terrorblade popping his meta does not feel good for him at all. No. He just has to focus on jungling at this point, and he's only level 6, 8 minutes in.
Yeah, it's a little bit lower than expected, to be perfectly honest, but definitely not counting him out of the game just yet. He's got a decent amount of farm. He's got himself the drums and the double Wraith Band, so more than happy to go plonk himself in the jungle and just kind of chill with some creeps for a bit. Who needs human friends when you can kill creeps? Oh, and there's a nice raw jelly coming down for him as well. One for me, one for Necro or Viper. Who's it going to be? I'd actually put it on Necro, to be honest.
Viper,
Put it on Viper.
He needs that region. He needs that mana region. I think Terrorblade didn't need it.
Yeah, you're right, actually. But he's a carry player. I mean, he picks that thing up and he's instantly devouring it. Cabinet bath for me.
Darkseer is trying to push him bottom, just, you know, slapping away at that tower. They got the TB and the Necro top. I think this kind of feels bad having both your position 1 and 3 in the same lane like this right now. Where it's like free 10 minutes, but... Oh, Reaper side is here.
In the bottom lane, they're looking over towards this Darkseer, and the Reaper side is going to cut him down. Meanwhile, the Clockwork trying to find himself the return kill does bring down Rain, and now with the Cogs trying to run himself away, and that's going to be enough to get himself out. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, yep, they're going to be able to take down ZZQ. Spirit trying to man up on this Viper, but it's not really working out too well for him, unfortunately. This Viper is just too damn strong at this point.
He is indeed very strong, about to hit level 9. 9 minutes in, level 9, 1 level a minute. You gotta be feeling good, man, if you're for the Dream at the moment. The Viper and the Necro both have completely free games. Terrorblade did get kicked out of bot jungle, but now he's laning up against a Spectre who's only got like 60 damage and a Meteor Hammer. So he's quite happy.
60 damage and a Meteor Hammer.
Are we gonna see some big plays where they go like Meteor Hammer into Vacuum combo? Ooh.
If only. I mean, that would be a hell of a pull-off if you could do that.
Unfortunately, you still can't win a fight because you're playing against Necro Viper and they have so much sustain and they're so hard to kill with your heroes. Like, there's only magical damage that's going to come out of EHOME Immortal. That's the big problem here.
And
right?
Viper's going to get an
already
pipe
has
as well. Ugh.
Necro has a hood. I don't know, dude. This is getting quite scary because they didn't win the lanes on the side of EHOME, and this Earth Spirit is like literally a support at this.
I mean, I don't know what Warlock's doing here at mid. You could maybe cast Shadow Word on the Viper if you want, but I'm fairly sure you take more damage from the corrosive skin than he does.
Where do you want him to be?
See, I don't know. I really don't know. They're going to try and make the play onto the Viper. They will miss the roll. Meteor Hammer, it's coming on down. There we go, the Viper. Unfortunately, the disruption comes in. That's a big save coming down. The Magnetize landing onto just about everybody, but the Terrorblade's in from behind. They take down the Clockwork. Gank unsuccessful once again. And EHOME Immortal limp themselves back to their side of the map.
That's a 57% magic resist Viper they initiated on, and he still lived with like 300 something HP. He's got a hood and max corrosive skin, and now they take back the mid tower. Oh, geez.
Yeah, they even landed the Meteor Hammer on him. Like, there wasn't much more damage which EHOME Immortal have to offer, and that's all they managed to do. Like, sure, you'll have Hookshot and Golem later on. Fine, maybe that might help stop the saves a little bit later on. I still don't think it's enough, though. That's the disturbing thing.
They had to kick the Viper into the tower if they wanted to get a kill.
Yeah.
But they rolled in, it didn't really hit, and then they had to hit the the kick to slow down the Viper, so it didn't work out. In fact, they're getting gone on. He has a Reaper sight.
Yeah, Shiro running into the trees. Disruption comes down from Rain, trying to set up for it. Do they have anything to interrupt this? Well, they don't actually have the vision onto Shiro as he's able to run himself up and away.
They're slow there from the Earth Spirit too, so he couldn't get close enough to use the Reaper sight after the disruption gave vision. That's gonna give them a bottom tower here. And they're gonna tear it top. Ruby gonna come bottom for some XP. I mean, at this point, all that's gonna happen, I think, is they're gonna play here, they're gonna play here, and they're gonna give Terrorblade like all of this on FTD side. Where EHOME Immortal, they're just gonna wait for the Darkseer to have Haunt again, and if anybody comes bottom here, those are the targets they want to kill. Because top and mid is so difficult for EHOME Immortal to fight around.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a toughie. It's a toughie, but they do still need to get some kills on board because this game's kind of falling out of hand for them right now. As this Terrorblade is just farming up in the jungle, having a great time. The Viper and the Necro just kind of running around the map, putting pressure wherever they want to do it. Middle tier 1 tower's already fallen, you know, it's all looking pretty grim for the side of EHOME Immortal right now. They need a win. Oh yes, Meteor Hammer landing onto the Necrophos, that's a win.
He's not gonna be taking any damage at all. He's got a mech. 100 gold. 100 gold, that's it. He's got a mech and a hood 13 minutes in with double bracers. This Necro is I want to say invincible, but then every time I say that, he literally just dies in the next fight.
True. Well, we should use our Caster's Curse for good to make this game more even. You know, FTD, they're so far ahead. There's literally no way they could lose a fight. There's no possible way they could lose any heroes on the map in the next couple of minutes. Just not going to happen, guys.
They've just itemized really well in this game. Like,
true enough. Oh, did I just hear a double? I just heard a double smoke, man. Oh, they did it. They did it. EHOME Immortal, honestly, into the naughty bin for you. They're going to jump onto the Viper straight away. Can they take him down? Do they have the damage? Golem coming out as well, but the Reaper side coming through onto the Clockwork. Not going to bring him down quite yet, but he will die eventually. And all this damage thrown down to the Viper, he didn't even tickle him. A feather could have done more damage to the Viper. He's fine. Oh my goodness, they just feel like wet clay. They got someone. Rain goes down, and a nice wall coming out from the Darkseer. What's it going to achieve? Absolutely nothing. He's going to get killed off as well. They're just going to farm up on some illusions. All's well for the side of For the Dream. They're happy monkeys right now.
That was everything. They threw the entire kitchen sink. It didn't do anything. Yeah. Bro, they got fatal bonds on all the key targets. They dropped the Golem. They were unfortunately hitting the Golem on the Viper, who has like corrosive skin, right? So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. They should probably put that on the Necro to deal some more damage. But other than that, like apart from the Haunt, everything was out there, and they couldn't bring a single core hero. That's very concerning at this point in the game.
Is indeed. Tis indeed. You have to be worried at this point.
Yikes.
Oh man, this Spectre is just it's just such a creep. Oh, yeah. Meteor Hammer Spectre, what a meme. I mean, the Meteor Hammer, it's like it's not bad, it's not good, but it's not bad. It's helping her farm, but at the same time, yeah, in the aggressive circumstances, yeah, you've got a vacuum, which can kind of make it kind of cute, I suppose. With the Chaos offering, you can generally get it off, but I mean, Nobody on the team. TB cares about magic damage, and he is not going to be anywhere near the Meteor Hammer this game.
They're going on Viper.
Oh, this works well for them every time. Let's see what happens. I mean, he is surrounded by 5 heroes. Can they bring him down? No.
It's not even close. It's like the dude has people HP.
They just keep trying it. I mean, you got to give them credit, I suppose, that there's commitment to the plan.
Come on. I mean, that guy's not dying.
Reaper side.
Listen, the 8% spell lifesteal is enough to like heal up all the damage EHOME Immortal is doing to it. And they even haunted in for that fight.
It's literally 5 heroes surrounded the Viper, and he doesn't even fall to half HP. He's absolutely fine, like not even bothered. What do you reckon voice comms are on right now? He's just like, they're attacking me again, guys. I mean, I don't.
They're like, let's farm. No, on the Immortal side. It's okay, guys. We couldn't kill him this time. We just have to farm now. Let's take it to 60 minutes. That's the plan, okay? Just split push. We can't do shit anymore.
Are we all 6 flooded? No. Okay, get back to the jungle. Bulkwork gonna lose his life here. Meanwhile, they're on to the backlands trying to catch out Rain. There is a double damage on this Earth Spirit, so he's slapping pretty hard, but he can't seem to finish the job here as a hookshot comes in. Viper's getting a little bit low. Maybe they can do... Oh, no, the disruption comes in, saves the day, and they will turn around and kill off Rain. Now, maybe the Viper could finally be in some... No, once again, turns around, kills the Earth Spirit. Meteor Hammer comes down. Viper, he's taking damage from himself, but that's about it. He's gonna... Oh, dagger. No. It's just not enough. Not enough gas in the tank. And he's just going to TP himself away to safety.
Why did they go for him? Why someone else already? Oh,
the definition of insanity is doing the exact same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. But, yeah.
Yeah, they're insane. Immortal is insane right now. Go for somebody else. Get the Rubik or something. You can even try on the Terrorblade. Even if he has a Sunder, you have a higher chance of killing him. Even if he uses Thunder and heals back to full, then going on this Viper, I believe. This Viper is just too annoying. All your damage is magical, right? And he's got this hood. It's almost got BKB too. Okay, at that point, he's really going to be like absolutely invincible.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no stopping this little Nether Drake.
Giro almost has Manta style, it looks like. 1,500 more to go. I mean, he's not under farm, right? That's the good.
No.
That's what Meteor Hammer lets you do. Have good sustain too, but his team is kind of useless in my opinion. Like they don't actually do it.
It's not 4 protect 1. It's kind of 4 watching 1 at this point.
Yeah. These heroes are just. I mean, why are you picking? Warlock is just not that good of a hero, I think. And then Earth Spirit mid, that was quite questionable too.
It's a fun game. Meanwhile, they were able to bring down 70 up in the top lane, catching out that Earth Spirit as he tried to... I don't know if he was making a play onto the Terrorblade. I just caught out here. I'm not too sure, but... Either way, he do be dead. He's down in the bottom lane as the Warlock, he's in an interesting position as well. Okay, killed off. Warding, I guess? And that ward's going to get taken pretty quickly.
He tried.
He did, trying to get that deep vision down, themselves maybe an opportunity for a smoke gank later on. Kind of wards you need.
Terrorblade has 11k net worth already. He's on his way to Scotty. Then that Spectre's really not moving into fights.
Could they just be like, I mean, there's 3 tier 2 towers up still. I'm sure they could just go around as 5 and take them all, right? Like, there's nothing which threatens the side of FTD.
Like about the tier 2 towers, or do they care more about like just farming up, get the Aegis, and then later take the towers?
They might care about the Spectre. She is dead. See you later, Shiro. Yeah, there we go. That's a tier 2 tower for you. That's a freebie.
Yeah, like these tier 2 towers is really hard. Oh, okay. They're YRG getting gone on, but. He has a mech and a hood.
He's still pretty good here. Vacuum comes out. He doesn't mind. That's a mech. They're realizing, oh, wait a minute. We're actually taking more damage than him in this instance. Let's back ourselves away. Quick shot across the creep wave. And once again, another failed gag. Meanwhile, Terrorblade, he's hanging out with his homie Roshan. Getting down and dirty with it.
Yeah. So it's much better for you to just farm up and get to a point where you're so strong that the towers die easily, instead of just you trying to, you know, bash your head into a tier 2 tower, which also has a glyph and can clear all your creeps and buy time for your opponent instead. So that's what they're kind of doing on FTD, right? They're just like farming up all 3 of the heroes. They know it's too soon to just force 5 heroes for a tower. The way they took the top tower was so natural. They just killed one guy, they're right beside it, they just went there with Terrorblade alone, and just took it.
Spectre jumping in here, trying to go for the cheeky steals, doesn't work out.
Did
You gotta
haunt
try it.
in?
Yeah, he did.
I don't think.
No, he haunted in and
reality'd
haunted
in
out
there?
again. Yeah, he reality'd in and reality'd out. Just getting cheeky. All it is. Just a bit of cheekiness.
Trying something, yeah.
Yeah. You miss 100% of the Roshan steals, you don't try. It's in the clip on my Twitch where I stole an Aegis with Song with Naga in a game where we were getting absolutely devastated. I just kind of walked up to the pit. I'm like, I think I'm going to take it in a second. I think it must be getting low. And I sing literally just as the Roshan dies. Just rock up, take the Aegis, leave.
Nice.
That was fun.
It's better if it has 1 hit left and then you sleep and then you get the last hit too.
Yeah, that's the dream scenario, but you know, also more funny when you just see the 2-man cogs, 2-man hook shot. They couldn't ask for a better setup, and unfortunately it's a clockwork that's going to go down instead, but they will be able to get the roofing at the very least. Meanwhile, Viper in the middle of everything, having to pop the BKB here, taking a bit of damage. Rain's dropping kind of low. This is looking like a good fight for EHOME, as the Viper kind of alone, except with this Necrophos. Where is your Terrorblade? Well, he's coming in around the back, and he's chopping up Mr. ZZQ, and now Shiro sees his cue to leave, but unfortunately Darkseer won't be getting that memo as he's been left behind. Does have the Surge, but unfortunately this Terrorblade stolen Surge is just sending him off on a mad one, and he's going to be able to get himself another kill for himself.
So that was like the best possible initiation they can get, because they called both of the supports, right?
Yep.
And that's what they have to do. They have to kill the Rubik and the Shadow Demon. They shouldn't care about anybody else on FTD at this point if they want to come back into the game. The supports is the key to you getting back in.
Interesting. You know, it's a game so slow. We can actually talk about what Chad are talking about for once, and they're talking about drums versus Meteor Hammer right now. So I think the key thing to mention with that one is that drums don't give you much farming capability. Meanwhile, Meteor Hammer certainly does. That's the biggest thing to mention about Meteor Hammer, is that it just increases your farm.
Right.
Meanwhile, ZZQ just getting beaten in by the TB. TB with a nice juke to the side here, and he's actually just going to be able to straight up kill the guy, but now he's under the tier 4s and pops the Sunder quite early here. Could be in some trouble if they pop the fortification, but they don't have it. So they're just going to be able to run themselves out, and the Terrorblade actually is allowed to just go in that deep with his Aegis and do what he wants. I mean, you might have to call this, I'm afraid. There's very, very little left in the tank for EHOME. I mean, it never really felt like they were in this game, to be honest. They were just watching. This is just 5 heroes watching a TB.
Yeah, I don't think EHOME Immortal got the memo that winning lanes is very important.
Not yet.
That's why they're probably where they are at right now. I mean, I get it. You want some cool team fight and you think you can win. Okay, GG. GG. Not wasting any more time.
Can't say I disagree, unfortunately. It's not the kind of climactic finale we were looking for. They go for one more dream fight with all their ultis up. They're just like, you know what? They have a bit of team discussion where they're just like, guys, what are we doing?